Yeah, that's a very good point. We really never know if something bad's going to happen to us, so we can't predict the future, albeit some folks are inclined to predict a lot. It's amazing. You know, as we think about the conference and some of the fascinating folks, can you share with viewers, if they didn't have a chance to get here to the Holiday Inn West last Thursday and Friday, some of the international flavor you had? You had folks in from all over the world, am I correct?
Yes, we did. I'll start from the U.S., but go outside. First of all, we were very pleased. There's a company that started here in Myrtle Beach called Lurk Security. They merged with SecureWorks. They're now the largest privately held computer security company. Joe Stewart from Myrtle Beach, who was with Lurk and now with SecureWorks, was one of our invited speakers. I mean, so he's a world-class person. SecureWorks has been on several news releases as having discovered certain strains of computer viruses and helping eradicate them. We had Jeff Kroom, who's in charge of security for IBM in China. He spent 6 months in China. Then Jeff was here talking about developing security from the beginning to the end. So that was really neat.
Right.
We had a senior scientist here from Hitachi. We have a couple people here from South America.
Is that right, South America?
Yes, we do. Otavio Lemos, who was actually on a paper with me that was presented at the conference.
He was here last week?
Yes, and University of Sao Paulo in Brazil.
Wow.
He just happens to be, right now for 6 months, he's out teaching at the University of California, Riverside, but he's an internationalist. In fact, I met him at an international conference in Chicago. Then he and I presented a paper over in England together, so he's another one. So yeah, we've got some international folks along with people from University of California at Irvine, a top 10 program in computer science and computer security, Texas A&M, Penn State University, North Carolina State University, the list goes on and on.
These folks were all here last week for the conference.
In beautiful sunny Myrtle Beach.
I love it. I love it. Good weather or bad. Fortunately, last week was beautiful weather on Thursday and Friday, and they really were able to enjoy a great time, and the Myrtle Beach area could show them something special. What prompted, do you mind sharing with viewers who helped put on the conference last week, John? Or was there a sponsor of the conference, or were there more than one sponsor? How did it get started, and what prompted some of the folks to put it together?
It's interesting how this conference came together. There were several people several different people thought that a computer security conference or some type of workshop would be a great thing. Jean-Louis Lassay, the chair of the department, had been talking about something for a while. I had noticed that there was no security conference in the area for academics, and it was a sorely underserved group. And then a company called Digital University Press that Jean-Louis worked with last semester, in fall, I'll clarify that, in fall 2006, when he did a public service engagement. He worked with several companies, and one was Digital University Press, putting together the notion of some online distribution of documents, and the idea of, well, if there are documents, they can be proceedings from a conference. And then I think at that point, the Digital University Press people, Jean-Louis, he brought me in because I'd been talking about a computer security conference, and all of a sudden, I think within a week, the conference idea happened. The website went online. 2,800 people were emailed. In fact, I got a nice compliment at the conference. One of the first people that came in said, "You did a really good job with publicity. I knew about this conference early, and my friends knew about it, and that's why I decided to submit a paper." So it was nice to get a compliment that said, you know, we did a good job. I'm over there at Coastal. I'm very fortunate to have been allowed to be the general chair, so it was my job to promote the conference.
You had some other folks from Coastal Carolina involved, other than you and Dr. Lassay last week?
Jean-Louis, of course, was instrumental in bringing in a number of the invited speakers. You know, he used to be with IBM Research up at Yorktown Heights, and the reason that we have the IBM folks was obviously from Jean-Louis' connection. Dr. Steve Shield presented a paper, former chair of the department. Dr. Jonathan Bernick presented a paper. We had 9 students from the Wall College of Business, known as Wall Fellows. They are top students in business. They and a junior computer science major named Mike Smith and myself put together a study, and we presented that. So we had a paper with...
You had 9 of the Wall Fellows here last week?
We had 11 people on a paper, 10 of them students and 1 of them me, but they all materially participated in the research.
They were here at last week's conference?
Yeah, about, I think 7 or 8 of them actually were able to make it because, you know, several of them had conflicts, but they were all here for that. I'm trying to think, I think that was about, Jeannie Ennis French presented a paper. Crystal Edge presented a paper, so we had a lot of participation from Coastal.
From the Coastal Carolina University faculty.
From the community at Coastal Carolina. We had a lot of participation, a lot of good papers, and of course Dr. Lassay was there being himself.
I love that
in
Coastal
charge.
Carolina name, John. That is and what a great location. You think from Nags Head to Hilton Head, we're right in the center of it all. And Coastal Carolina University with its incoming president, your new president, David DeCenzo, and of course Dr. Ron Engel, you all have such a tremendous group out there, really expanding everything out there.
We do, and you got to realize we're so lucky because we are very close to the center of the universe.
Oh, tell me about it.
That's Aner.
Aner, okay, that's right.
Well, everyone knows that Aner is the center of the universe,
the hometown
right?
of our director, absolutely. It is a very, it's amazing to think of all the things that happen in Horry County and all the exciting things that are going on, to think about bringing all the people that are right behind us here at the Holiday Inn West. It'll be the home of a new $500 million park. The Hard Rock Park will be literally right behind the Holiday Inn West here.
That's exactly right, and it's going to be great. I have to tell you the origin of that center of the universe joke.
Yeah.
And David Parker, who's in charge of AV at Coastal, he's got a series of clocks that says Paris, London, Tokyo, and Aner.
Paris, London,
Tokyo, and Aner, and so they're all set correctly. And I said, well, why is that there? He said, center of the universe. I said, okay. So
wow.
He's told me that 5 years ago, so I've tried to
this is
promulgate
David Parker out at Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and he has them up on the wall.
Oh yeah, it's great, and it started out as a joke, but now I've told enough people. We're trying to convince everyone that is the center of the universe. But now Dr. Lassay is going to tell you that there's a reason why you should consider his ranch, the Mule Shoe Ranch in Magdalena, New Mexico, truly the center, at least the center of the earth. There's a good reason for that.
Really?
He'll tell you.
Well, we'll look forward to hearing about that on Friday. We just got a few minutes, John. When you think back on the excitement of the conference last week, and of course the folks in not only internationally, but folks that crossed the waterway from Myrtle Beach or came down from Coastal's campus, didn't have to travel as far as South America or from Asia or otherwise to get here. The excitement of bringing all those folks together. Were there any big breaking news that came out of the conference, something that really stuck in your mind that was overwhelmingly important for all the attendees?
I would say the fact that people met, people networked. IBM spoke with a lot of people. SecureWorks talked with people. We had a couple of other vendors. We had Interisys, Barracuda Networks, and Data DNS. That's their name. And they were talking with a lot of people. There's talks of grants. There's talking about working with congressmen to try to get some things so that we can help study things, grants at Coastal and in conjunction with other companies. So
sure.
That's an important thing. In fact, Srinivas Mukalala, who's from New Mexico Tech, one of our invited speakers, in fact Jean-Louis was his doctoral advisor, he is working with us to try to put together some government grants to help study security, bring some more money and some more employment into the area.
That's tremendous. I also saw a lot of folks had a copy of a column you'd recently done on TextMaster, and you had some of the folks from the Understanding Corporation that were in town, Larry Amick and Danny Beecham, who were in for the conference. But there was a front and back that was in the Herald this past week. It's in there right now for subscribers. It was very exciting.
That's an oldie but goodie. That's my TextMaster column. And we've been able to incorporate that into 2 classes over at Coastal Carolina University. The students really like it. In one sentence, what it does is it allows you to look at something that you've written and determine if part of it's too complicated or not. And if it is, it gives you some help in fixing it. Now that's what I call performance.
And that's something that can help with websites, John.
Absolutely. In fact, that's where we use it, is in my website development class. I say, students, if you want to develop a website on starting a business, then go to several websites about starting a business, look at their text, and see what grade level it is. And that's probably the grade level of reading that your website should read. So then write yours and work to try to make it match. And it's a very important, integral part, I believe, of web development. So that's how we're teaching it at Coastal.
That's tremendous. John, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Thanks so much for putting on that tremendous conference last week here at the Holiday Inn West.
Oh, Greg, it was fun. It's always good to see you and see everyone, Carolina people. Hope you'll have me back. I like being on your show.
You kicked off the show 3 or 4 months ago, and obviously kicking off this week here while we're here celebrating the success of last week's conference. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Dr. John Stamey, the General Chair of the Computer Security Conference, coming up next. Trojans, malware. Don't know what they are? You should have been here last Thursday and Friday for the first annual soon to be the first of many, many more computer security conferences here at the Holiday Inn West. Current trends, current security issues, legal issues, healthcare issues. You should have been here last Thursday and Friday. To learn more about the very exciting conference, stay with us all this week as we highlight some tremendous guests, some tremendous presenters, tremendous speakers, tremendous folks who are working hard every day to make sure computer security is brought to the forefront and is highlighted for folks just like you and me.